just came from Brussels, being there yesterday and the day before. And I've been with the net zero mission cities, the 100 EU mission cities. And they're all discussing, of course, what do we do about the climate change? And they're supposed to be the leaders, including Bristol is one of them. And they're all facing the same questions, but a lot of the talk is very generic, and no one, or very few, are breaking it down into understandable, doable, actionable problems. This is what we do. And it's all started off by us going to 3 Swedish governmental bodies and saying, look, Sweden has a law, we're supposed to become climate neutral by 2045, but the plans are all over the place, and worse than that, they're all talking different language. There isn't a common framework. And that is, of course, a problem, because you can't work together if you don't have it. So that is really where our mission started. We started an innovation project, and together we have developed a framework that we're trying to convince the world that this is the best framework. And we are slowly managing. We're working with more and more net zero cities, more and more cities all across the world that are using this logic, this language of breaking down the shifts to transition elements, to doable targets, meaning that we actually get, by doing a backcasting exercise in the software, and never mind about the details, but the important thing is that you get a yearly target for how many more bicyclists do you need in London by 2024, 25, 26. Because it's only then you can have the actions. What's the balance between biking, electric cars, and the bus? You have to understand it, and you have to quantify it. You can't have just the end goal year targets. You have to break it down. And that's what we're trying to do. And that's what we're doing. When we interview climate strategists, people working with the different climate teams in different cities all across the world, they say, well, my day looks like this. 9 o'clock I have a meeting, and then I have another meeting at 10 o'clock, and at 11 o'clock I have another meeting. It's because what they're doing is meeting all those different stakeholders, trying to pull together the data, the strategies, the actions, and doing a climate plan. They don't have a software. If you look like at 98% of the cities we know, they're working with Excel, which is of course a software, but it limits you in different ways. And one of the cities we're speaking to that is seen by, I think, more or less all cities in the world as a forerunner city in the world, without mentioning names, they're saying, well, what ClimateOS can give us is the ability to centralize data, so we can zoom in on the actions for bikes, getting the numbers to 2025. We can zoom out and get the overview between energy consumption and energy usage in housing. But we can also moderate those discussions. So we have a tool actually that really helps you take those argumentations about what scenarios do we believe in. What is the balance between electric cars and bikes? What will the tempo be? So people can argue, build scenarios, and create strategies, and then connect actions to them and see the co-benefits of both of healthcare and NOx and noise and everything that is coupled, but everything in one place in a visual way, which means that it's consumable, understandable, and suddenly we get a common language and a common framework. That's what we're doing, and that's how we are helping cities create and implement and redo again and again and again their climate action plan, because it's not a static document on paper PDF. It has to be agile. No one knew about the Ukraine war or COVID, and hey, it's suddenly here. We have to rethink. Then we have to be agile, and we have to be digital. Reflecting at this event, or the 2 days in Brussels that I just spent, when I talk to people, the most important takeaway wasn't the different speeches and keynote talks and whatever. It was actually meeting people, sharing knowledge, understanding solutions, and how they're dissecting the problem and attacking the problems, the issues in front of them. And that is the most important thing, learning from each other. Sure, we can get some energy from the keynote speeches, but the most important takeaway has to be learning. And that's what we have to learn to accelerate even more. Because if you allow me to be a bit critical, I would say also many of those events, you will hear the same kind of speeches 5 years ago saying, oh, we have to now accelerate our action, etc. And not much is happening. Why? Because we're not being specific enough. And by those meetings, by understanding solutions, we become more specific. Therefore, that's what especially cities see as the most interesting thing in an event like this.